My doctor said my migraines weren't real. Turns out they were panic attacks. I know, right? Like, how do you miss that? That's when my friend told me about Hector Suarez. This man has been helping people for 40 years, actually figuring out what's wrong, like, when everyone else just shrugs. I reach out to Hector, and within the first conversation, like, he's connecting dots no one else saw, like my migraines, anxiety, even weird shoulder tension. He explained how it was all connected, not in some woo-woo way, but actual science about our nervous system. And the crazy part, he didn't just throw pills at me, he gave me this whole toolkit, practical stuff I could actually use. Before I found Hector's work, my life felt like it was shrinking. I was having debilitating migraines almost every single day. I'd wake up with this dread, wondering if today was going to be a good day or a dark room day, and the panic attacks, they would come out of nowhere, this wave of terror that made me feel like I was dying. I started avoiding everything. My world just kept getting smaller. After applying the principles in his books, the change was profound. My migraines went from daily to maybe once a month. The panic attacks basically disappeared, but the biggest change was internal. For the first time, I finally understood my own body. It wasn't my enemy. It was trying to communicate with me, and I was finally learning its language. Here's the thing that sets Hector's approach apart. He treats you like a whole person, not just a collection of symptoms. I had been to so many specialists who ran tests, and when everything came back normal, I was told it was just stress. I felt so dismissed. They were looking at my head for the migraines and my heart for the panic attacks, but no one was looking at. You know what really got me? The first time we talked, he asked about things no doctor ever asked. He wanted to know I slept, what my work stress really felt like, even about my relationships. Nobody had ever looked at the whole picture before. It was like he was gathering all the puzzle pieces that other doctors had just swept aside. He explained how trauma and chronic stress get stored in our bodies and our nervous system, keeping us in a constant state of fight or flight. He explained that my physical symptoms were often my body's emotional responses. My migraines weren't a random malfunction, they were an alarm bell. It was a profound aha moment. It wasn't just about fixing symptoms, it was about understanding they were there. The tools he gave me weren't just band-aids, they were actual solutions. Breathing techniques to calm my nervous system, mindfulness exercises to notice my body's early warning signs. They were skills for life. If you're tired of doctors who don't listen, if you feel like you've tried everything, check out Hector's books on Amazon. This could be the perspective shift you've been looking for. It was for me. And I'm not the only one. It feels like I've joined a community of people who found their way back to health through his work. Hector has helped countless people over 4 decades of practice. 4 decades. Can you imagine the experience? It's a lifetime dedicated to seeing the patterns others miss, the subtle connections between our life stories and our physical health. He understands how a dysregulated nervous system can create a cascade of issues, from anxiety to chronic pain. It's a level of wisdom that is profoundly healing. That's why I call him a master detective for your health. He looks for clues in your history that others dismiss. For me, he connected my chronic migraines and digestive issues, which I thought were separate like Husserl, to, I say, they are a long stacky, so standing anxiety I barely recognized. He pieced the puzzle together, and for the first time, my body's distress signals made sense. They weren't a malfunction, they were a message. That understanding was a turning point. I went from someone constantly anxious with a racing heart and a sense of dread to actually feeling in partnership with my own body. It's not about suppressing anxiety, but having tools to respond. Now, when I feel that old tightness, I don't spiral into panic. I have breathing exercises and grounding techniques that work. I can listen to my body's needs instead of being terrified by its alarms. My days aren't ruled by pain anymore. I can actually plan things without that constant worry, like, will I be too sick to follow through? I recently went on a hiking trip, something I would have been too afraid to consider a year ago. Feeling strong and capable in my own body. That's not just a small win, that's getting your life back. And this is the knowledge he shares in his books. They aren't just theory, They're practical manuals for your own nervous system. They're filled with real strategies that work because they explain the why behind your symptoms. You get step-by-step guides for somatic exercises and breathing techniques, not just vague philosophical concepts. You'll read story after story of people getting their lives back, and you'll see yourself in their journeys. So if you're struggling with anxiety, panic attacks, chronic pain, or just feeling disconnected from your body, please hear me. You don't have to keep suffering alone. You are not broken. Hector's books are right there on Amazon. They are a roadmap waiting to help you understand your body and befriend your nervous system the way I finally do. It's the first step to reclaiming your life. Looking back, I can't believe I lived with that pain for so long. It was this constant low-grade static in the background of my life, sometimes flaring up into a full-blown storm that would derail my week. I missed out on hikes, on playing with my kids, on just feeling at ease in my own skin. I was convinced it was my new normal, thinking it was just something I had to accept as I got older, a burden to be managed, not a problem to be solved. But our bodies are trying to tell us something important, constantly sending us signals. We're just not taught the language. My body was screaming, but all I heard was noise, and Hector taught me how to listen. He gave me the dictionary. It wasn't some mystical process. It was about paying attention to the subtle shifts, the tension here, the ache there, and understanding them not as failures of the body, but as communications. That's the real gift he gives you, the ability to partner with your body again, learning to trust yourself and the wisdom it holds. It's a homecoming. What I love about Hector's approach and what truly sets him apart is that he doesn't just treat symptoms in isolation. So many other practitioners I saw were like mechanics looking at a single broken part. They'd focus on my shoulder or my back, but they never asked it was happening. Hector is different. He's like a master detective looking at the entire crime scene. He sees how everything in your body is connected. He understands that the human body isn't a machine, it's an ecosystem. He helped me see the invisible threads connecting my chronic stress, a past injury I'd long forgotten, and even my emotional state to the physical pain I was experiencing. Your emotions, your physical health, your life experiences, they aren't separate categories. They are all woven into the fabric of who you are, and they all leave an imprint on your nervous system. The science behind it is fascinating. He explains how our bodies store trauma and stress in our tissues, creating patterns of tension and pain that can last for decades. It's not just about fixing one thing like a tight muscle. It's about understanding the whole system and gently helping it find a new, healthier pattern. And he has 40 years of helping people do just that. Think about that. 40 years of seeing these patterns, of refining his techniques, of listening to thousands of stories. That's not just a career, that's a calling. That's a library of human experience you get to benefit from. And you can feel that dedication and deep-seated expertise in every conversation, every technique he shares. There's no guesswork. There's a profound confidence that comes from a lifetime of mastery. The ripple effect of that kind of healing is astonishing. It's not just that my back stopped hurting. I started sleeping through the night. I had more energy, more patience with my family. I felt more creative, more optimistic. It changes families, communities, lives, because when one person returns to their wholeness, they bring that healthier energy into every interaction. So if you're tired of the endless cycle of appointments and temporary fixes, if you're ready to stop just managing symptoms and start actually healing from the root cause, I wholeheartedly encourage you to check out his books. It's the first step on a journey that will change your life. Your future self, the one who is free from pain and full of vitality, will thank you. And remember this, because it's the most important lesson I learned. You deserve to feel good in your own body. You deserve to live a life that isn't defined by pain. That's not a luxury. It's your birthright. That's not too much to ask. Trust me on this one. It's the truest thing I know.